Hello YouTube, this is a Satsu 5. I thought I would make kind of a news flash update type video on Texas knife laws. For those of you who do not pay attention to knife I can't say the word, legislation, I can't say that word, but knife laws in general, like kniferights.com, American Knife and Tool Association, whatever. But the knife rights advocates have been fighting really hard for people to be able to enjoy the knives of their choice and making the U.S. a more knife-friendly place, which is a good thing. And uh, I think I've made a video a year or so ago talking about how Texas legalized switchblades. So that means I can carry a balisong or OTF or any gravity or spring knife. I can carry that, no problem, which is good. And still currently in the mix, they're trying to legalize Bowie knives, which I think would be awesome. Although I can talk about the advantages and disadvantages for carrying a Bowie knife and stuff. Um, I'll get into that later. But what recently happened is that they legalized, or they didn't legalize anything. They made a law stating that cities in the state of Texas can't pass or enforce laws that prohibit certain knives that the state allows. So basically, if the state allows butterfly knives, locking blades, or butterfly knives, basically, if the state allows the knives that I usually carry, then cities like San Antonio have to allow those knives as well. San Antonio can't have laws that prohibit locking blades, switchblades, gravity knives, knives that are 5.5 inches. They can't outlaw those knives. Basically, it gets the whole state of Texas on the same laws. They get the same rights that Houston has, that San Antonio has, that Lufkin, Texas has, that Lubbock has. All the states in Texas have the same knife laws now, and me and my brother talked, and he was like, "Well, I don't know if I actually agree with this law. It's not the fact that he doesn't agree that we should be able to carry these things. It's that he kind of feels that maybe certain cities and towns in Texas should have the right to decide what they want their laws to be." And I can totally get that, but it just being a Second Amendment guy, I have a problem with, you know, the government. I don't have a problem with the government ideal or anything, but just someone saying you can't carry something just because it's scary. Um, you know, um, and someone made the point in an interview saying, I can't carry a locking blade in San Antonio, but I can carry my gun at the Walk. So that's a very interesting concept. Um, I have mixed feelings about this law. I'm happy that my um, fellow Texans in San Antonio can enjoy the same rights that I have or the same privileges that I have, depending on your point of view. Um, um, but I do see the kind of the contradiction there if the national government um, said, "All right, Texas, you have to have the same gun laws as New Jersey or something like that," that wouldn't fly very well, would it? But it's a very interesting concept. I'm happy that the people in San Antonio are getting the right to carry the knife of their choosing. It still has to be single edge. It still has to be 5.5 inches or smaller, but it can be locking, gravity, switchblade. Um, it can be all those things that they didn't have the opportunity to carry in the past. And they were interviewing a guy who sold knives in a kind of army surplus store, a very nice one, um, um, saying that it's still legal to buy all these knives and transport them from in town. You just can't carry them publicly. And apparently, the San Antonio police department was getting a good bit of money out of enforcing this illegal knife law, saying you can't carry certain knives that are quite normal to me and you. Like, I think a straddle would be illegal in San Antonio before this law. I think, you know, the Spyderco specific salt, not specific salt, Pacific salt would be illegal in San Antonio. I think they had a ban on locking blades, which to me is stupid. I think most knife laws are stupid. Um, you know, but anyways, I'm happy for my San Antonio fellow Texans that they get to enjoy the knives that I enjoy. Um, they're they're a pleasure to use. They're very versatile, and to me, knives are only a weapon is when you use them as a weapon, um, as opposed to, well, I don't need to open that can of worms. I was going to say, as opposed to a gun is a weapon all the time. It's not necessarily a practical tool to open up a can of beans with. But although you can target practice with them and stuff, so I'm not going to get any more detailed in that conversation. But yeah, so I think it's starting September 1st. This September, October. This past September, um, San Antonio and any other state in Texas who had very restrictive knife laws can now carry the knife of their choice, as long as it's 5.5 inches and smaller, and it's not specifically designed for thrusting or double edge. You still can't carry shurikens. You still can't carry daggers or swords. Um, um, you still can't carry a tomahawk, um, which is kind of weird. Well, I guess you still can't carry an axe either. Um, Knife laws in general are very contradicting, and I can get in a whole conversation about this. In Texas, you can't carry a knife that's 5.5 inches or smaller. But if you're doing a legal activity like camping or hunting or fishing or anything like that, if you're a gardener or a landscaper, you can have a machete, you can have an axe or a tomahawk. You can do these things, and if you practice martial arts, you can transport a sword or throwing stars to your school and back. Um, and I find blade laws very contradictory in general. Um, it was also funny. I was watching Cops. I can't remember what state it was in. It might have been Texas, but I think the guy who got arrested was from Texas, but I think he might have been in California or something. I can't remember. But he got pulled over by a police officer, and the police officer asked him if he had ever been arrested, and he said yes. And he said, "What for?" And he said, "For carrying a butterfly knife." And um, anyways, the police officer found probable cause that he was under the influence of some drug, searched his vehicle, and found a machete, a very cheap machete, in the passenger seat. And this police officer was all freaking out. "Why do you have a machete in your passenger seat? How come you don't have it in the trunk?" And he was freaking out. It was hilarious. I guess if a police officer pulled me over, I'd be spending the night in jail. Um, but because I have blades, fairly big blades, all over the place. I don't just keep stuff in my trunk. I have them. I have some Bowie knives and hunting knives in the little cubby in my door, and part of it is that I put it in there and I forgot that it was in there, and another part of it is, well, if I ever need to get out of my vehicle and the doors aren't working, I could probably bust a window out with this Bowie knife. So, although I'd probably be better suited to have a rescue knife. But they originally got in there because I was going to carve the turkey at the Thanksgiving party last year, but they ended up providing me with a electric knife. But anyways, I thought I'll give you this shout out on Texas knife laws. Yes, you can carry anything that's state legal. You can carry it everywhere in Texas. The only very hairy spot you have is in Texarkana, because Texarkana, the city, straddles two states, Arkansas and Texas. In Arkansas, they don't got a blade length limit. So you can carry a Bowie knife or an extra large Espada or the 6-inch holdout. But in Texas, you can't. So, if you cross the border from Texas to Arkansas on a daily basis, many times a day, you can potentially get in trouble there. But anyways, I wanted to give you this shout out. Hope y'all had a great Thanksgiving. A lot of things to be thankful for. Life is relatively good. I got to eat ham. I love like brown sugar cured ham. No one in my family fixes turkey. I really like turkey, but I'll get that at the Christmas party at work. Hope y'all have a great day. I'll be back with some more videos here really soon. God bless. I am out.